Guys,
I'm sure it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
the Leafs are not the NHL's vacuum cleaner. I've said this before. I said this a week ago during Tyler Ennis-gate.
Hey, that was still a good idea.
It wasn't a good idea.
It was,
and that's why they didn't do it, because it wasn't good. 30 teams passed on Tyler Ennis. No offense to Tyler Ennis personally. Really liked you when you played for the Leafs.
I still
Point
do.
is, you weren't. Yeah, still do. Activated today. Gonna play in Edmonton's lineup tonight. Good for Tyler Ennis. Happy for him. This is a guy that came back from a pretty serious back injury. Love Tyler Ennis. Nothing to do with Tyler Ennis. Leaf fans, I'm talking to you. I understand why everybody hates this. Why are we so interested in everybody's third and fourth line castoff? And I'm specifically talking about Sam Bennett, who about 18 million years ago was drafted in the top 5 and has asked for a trade, is a career minus player. And I know we don't put a whole lot of plus minus in the plus minus category.
No.
Oh, now we care. Now we care about plus minus. I see. Because his name's not Wayne Simmons. He's
not just a little minus, guys. He's a lot minus. He's a lot freaking minus.
What's
okay.
Plus minus?
Oh my God. Okay. But plus minus is sort of a dumb stat. I will.
Yeah. Thank you.
But okay. Can we talk about this for a second? Leafs Nation are just completely unhinged at the news that fourth line, barely in the lineup, Sam Bennett is available by a trade. And I saw a tweet out there who said, why don't we do Nylander for Bennett?
No,
you were high in points.
Name
6 years ago. He had 36.
No, put their @ handle on this podcast.
I don't even know. I don't even know who they are. I don't
Okay.
know. I wish I did. You're asking me to remember somebody's name. Come on. I'm terrible at that. I can't remember names. Can't remember faces. I'm terrible at it. Terrible. Now, let's have a look here, guys.
Adam read it on Facebook. It was his uncle.
15, 16, 77 games, 36 points. Wow, that's a really good young rookie. Next year, 81 games, 13 and 13, 26 points. Okay, well, listen, everybody got the sophomore slump. The next year, 11 goals, 15 points. Oh, 26 points. Man, he's really got to step up. Then the next year, 71 games, 13 and 14, 27 points. Well, that's just about the same as the last 2 years. It's almost like there's a trend. Last year, 52 games, 8 goals, 4 assists. This year, 1 goal, which came on Saturday when they finally pumped his tires and put him on the first line. And he's got 2 points. Over that time, if you don't include the 14-15 game where he played 1 game, minus 11, minus 16, minus 16, minus 18, minus 6, minus 1, and minus 5. He has never been a plus player in his career. He's a negative 58. And just on that metric alone, I would be a little bit like, I'm a little worried about that. I get that he's big. I get that he was drafted in the top 5. But I actually had people messaging me today saying, yeah, well, he's a top 5 draft pick. That talent doesn't just disappear. Hello. Yes, it does. Or maybe it just wasn't there and they made a mistake. You ever heard of Alexander Dagg?
I feel like he had a shoulder injury or something.
Okay.
And that'll sap you.
Sure.
That'll sap away your talent.
But, okay, whatever reason, the performance isn't there. And everybody's like flipping out over Sam Bennett for what? For what? And so I've heard some good arguments since, because we were tweeting about it. What about a Kerfoot for Bennett swap? Kerfoot's got a goal. Bennett's got a goal. Kerfoot's got 3.5 on the books. Bennett's got 2.5 on the books. It saves the Leafs $1 million. Calgary absolutely will not do it. But people are saying, well, what about that? That would work. Well, Calgary wouldn't do it.
They would.
It'd probably be a ripoff. You think they would?
Well, in terms of talent, it's not close. I think Kerfoot's the better player. However, what makes it interesting, and I think this is Calgary's hesitation here, is what Elliot Friedman said. I think it was on the 31 Thoughts podcast, not this episode, but the last, where he was talking about Calgary viewing Sam Bennett as not the kind of player who gets you to the playoffs, but the kind of player who gets you through. And he's had good playoff performances. And I know it's an exhausting thing to listen to. I know it's an exhausting thing to listen to.
What's wrong with that? What are we talking about here? Are you kidding me?
So what, you're saying Calgary should keep him there?
No. The reason he's the guy that shows up in the playoffs is because none of Calgary's stars show up in the playoffs.
Well, there is that.
Johnny Gaudreau's points and Monahan's points drop in half the second game. One drops the puck. Are we kidding?
So you wouldn't swap Kerfoot for Bennett?
No. Well, maybe Kerfoot.
So yeah.
You're saving $1 million, maybe.
So Kerfoot for Bennett, 1-for-1, do it.
So there are.
I still love it. Don't love it.
So I wonder if there's something here, though. Because there are players who we acknowledge are not the most amazing in the regular season, but when the playoffs come, for some reason, they come alive.
Joel Ward is a name.
Joel Ward
Justin
was
Williams.
is
Justin Williams, Mr.
so Justin Williams is good in the regular season.
Yeah, he
and
got 60
great
points.
in the playoffs, right?
But Joel Ward was a 40-point player, was he not? Regularly?
For a
I'm
lot
looking
of
this up.
his career, but even when he sort of fell off, he was still playoffs would come around, and you're like, holy crap, there goes Joel Ward again. There's something there with Sam Bennett. So in his first playoff in 2015, that was a very long time ago. Yes, I know, but listen, 11 games, 3 goals, 4 assists. Once again, as a rookie, his second playoffs in 2017, 2 goals in 4 games. In 2019, 5 points in 5 games. And this past playoff in the bubble, he had 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points in 10 games.
Do you want to know why?
Calgary Flames. Why?
Because somebody's got to score. And it's not Gaudreau and Monahan, which is Calgary's problem in the playoffs.
We have watched some terrible teams. No, they do not. But he also, this is what's wild to me. So that is tied for the Calgary Flames lead in playoff scoring with Sean Monahan. He led them in goals, and he was tied for the lead in points. Adam might be onto something.
Come on. Ryan Dzingel scored almost 20 goals with the Sens before he was dealt to the Blue Jackets. You know why? Because somebody's got to score.
Now, so here's the argument for acquiring him.
On a winning team is Ryan Dzingel in the top 9.
Here's the argument for acquiring him. The Leafs are making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Could you use some Sam Bennett in your life? Could you use some Sam Bennett in your life? Some meat and mustache, 2 things proven to get you through the playoffs. Could they use some of that? And here, again, just like with Tyler Ennis, Adam, here's a reason why I'm not saying do it, but I am saying look at it. He's in Canada. It's important. If a player becomes available on a Canadian team, the other
Leafs
Canadian
must
teams
vacuum up their crumbs.
No, but they have to
pick
look
them
at
up off the floor. We will be better. You know what? He sucked for the Calgary Flames for 6 years, but you know what? We're the Toronto Maple Leafs, and not only did this work with Tyson Barrie and Cody Ceci, but it's going to work with Sam Bennett too. We're going to bring him in here. We're going to rehab him, and he's going to be a great player.
Neither of those guys had reputations as good playoff performers, though. Is this guy? His reputation.
Why Sam Bennett has a reputation as a playoff performer, Steve.
Because he performs in the playoffs. Yes, the Flames are terrible around him, but he's good despite that. And this is the thing: he's got a gear. He's got another gear. He's got a gear to give. Now at 2.5 mil, that's tough. I'm with you there.
That's a pill.
There's something
dollars.
It's worth looking at.
Who gave him that deal? Are they crazy?
Brad Treliving, I guess.
Why? Holy smokes.
It's worth looking at. It's worth looking at. Is there something truly there?
Here's the deal.
I'm not seeing a deal that makes sense, but there's something there.
Sam Bennett got a chance to score in the playoffs because whoever the coach was at the time, Bill Peters, Jeff Ward, whoever was coaching the Calgary Flames at the time. What was the other guy? Glenn Gulutzin, who was just miserable all the time in every press conference. The only reason Sam Bennett got those opportunities is because Monahan and Gaudreau suck in the playoffs.
Well, Monahan was the guy he was tied with in playoff scoring, though.
Monahan should be.
That's true.
He's paid to be.
That's absolutely true.
Guys, this whole playoff performer bullshit because their star didn't perform. So he gets more opportunities and puts some goals. Come on.
And makes the most of them. He gets more opportunities.
But
what do you want more in a bottom 6
4-game stretch, but he can't do it for 82.
What do you want more in a bottom 6 player than a guy who makes the most of his opportunities, though?
He doesn't.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
Come playoff time.
He plays an entire regular season, and he can't get more than 10 goals.
You're not getting him for the regular season.
What's his career high? What is Sam Bennett's career high?
It was as a rookie. So the Nail Yakupov special with 36 points.
I looked it up.
He has not topped 27 since.
Guys.
Bro, I'm there.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about? The only reason this is a conversation, the only reason.
Why?
Because he was drafted 4th overall a while ago.
Yeah. No, it's also because he wears 93 and likes Doug Gilmour.
Well, so do I. Love Dougie. Shut up.
Yeah, but you're not as good at hockey as Sam Bennett, who you said sucks.
No, I'm definitely not. No, Sam kicked my ass. And listen, this is not an attack on Sam Bennett. It's an attack on the idea that we have to pick up every excess forward and have another guy on the third line who can't perform in the regular season. My issue right now with the Leafs is they don't have a third line that performs. And so let's go get the guy who can't perform on the third line for the entire regular season. Let's add it to Pierre Engvall, Nick Patan, Travis Boyd, who's actually been pretty good. Jimmy Vesey. Who else do we got that's not performing on the third line? Let's add Sam Bennett to the mix. Great. Let's
All I'm
take
saying is
downgrade
it's worth
in
exploring.
skill with Alexander Kerfoot. And I get it. We get to save $1 million. I would look at it too. And I agree with you, Steve. You should look at it. Should always look at it.
But
What are we looking at?
Yeah.
And then people, and so somebody said to me today, hey, listen, when the Leafs are fully healthy again, and they made a really good point. Your third line is, in this scenario, Simmons, Robertson, Bennett.
Oof.
So not bad, right? That sounds pretty good, except for the fact that Nick Robertson's like 4.5 years old. And we're going to expect him to drive play on the third line by himself?
Yeah, but him and
Not like
Simmons
Sam Bennett's
on average are like 25. That's how age works.
But we just talked about Wayne's not driving the possession. Sam Bennett for sure isn't driving possession. So it's going to be on Nick Robertson?
I don't think
setting a 19-year-old up for success?
No, making him your third line center, I think, is an abject mistake.
Bennett?
Yes. So I'll agree with you that I don't want him there.
Trading a third line center for him. So
I am not the one who suggested trading Kerfoot.
Where's he going then? Where's he going to play?
I'd like to see him. I think he would be an excellent fourth liner. The problem is he makes $2.5 million. Adam, in most years you go, hey, you want Sam Bennett? I say, no, not really. This year is different. It's different.
You know what, Jesse? I'm going hunting, and the guy I'm looking for is elite fourth liner. Please hook me up with that. I would love an elite fourth liner.
On a good team, Sam Bennett should not be playing above the fourth line.
I'll say this. It's something we are giving entirely too much thought to.
No, I'm calling Leafs Twitter out on this one. This is crap, and you're at it again. Stop it.
I think it's something they should look at.
A fourth liner.
What if it's salary retained?
They're going to take on more salary.
Calgary is going
to take on Kerfoot, and they're going to take some back.
No, we're not giving.
Leave Kerfoot alone.
Yeah.
There's no Kerfoot.
Nobody's giving up Kerfoot for Bennett. They're not.
So what does this deal look like?
Yeah, that's the thing.
What asset are we talking about?
You don't want to give up anything for Sam Bennett. You want him for just cash.
Would they look at something like Sam Bennett, salary retained, I don't know how much, and Pierre Engvall, who obviously pisses the organization off?
Here's the problem. Salary. So the Flames right now are accruing some cap space according to Cap Friendly because their daily cap hit is less than their ACSL. I don't know what the hell that is. But anyway, the reality is, guys, they will have $3 million available by the deadline. Their current cap space availability is $1 million. So how much are they going to retain?
Plenty of space for Kerfoot.
So you retain the difference between Engvall and Sam Bennett to even it out? Is that what you're saying?
Would you do a straight swap? Say their salaries were even. Do you do a straight swap of Sam Bennett for Engvall?
Well, if the salaries were even. The problem with Engvall is I just don't, even though I like his tools, I just don't see a future for him on this team. Like it's starting to look more like that. And he's just one of those. I feel like he's a player. I understand why he drives Sheldon Keefe nuts because he's clearly got the talent. It's clearly there. And he just makes one or two mistakes a game where it just completely erases the good night that he has. He makes mistakes that you can't afford that far down your lineup. But he's valuable because he can play on the penalty kill. He can play the wing. He can play center. Sounds like a fast version of Sam Bennett.
I enjoy Engvall on the PK.
I do too.
On the PK too.
He does what we were sold on Mark Marincin. The you shall not pass. You know, with the big staff into the earth. He does block things very well.
So here, I think it's worth looking at getting Sam Bennett, but Jesse threw down the gauntlet. Would you do this?
Yeah, the swap salary's even. A wash.
No.
For Engvall.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't do that.
So we're getting a guy who we think is we wouldn't give up Pierre Engvall for. God.
Adam, I'm on your team.
Adam makes a good point.
Don't
I
guy.
mean, sorry.
I'm on your team here.
Guy. Sorry, I sound like a real Canadian. Hey, Guy.
Hey there, guy.
Okay. So we're done with this now, right? We're done with this conversation?
For now.